What's going on, everyone? We need to talk about Thor, because when you look at everything, the leaked trailers, the plot leaks, Chris Hemsworth's own words, and the comic book blueprint, the signs are all pointing in one direction. The God of Thunder is not making it out of Avengers Doomsday alive, and I know that's hard to hear. Thor has been with us since 2011. He survived Thanos, Ragnarok, the destruction of Asgard, and literally everything the MCU has thrown at him. But today, I'm going to walk you through every single clue that suggests December 18th, 2026 will be the last time we see Thor Odinson standing. Huge spoiler warning. These are confirmed leaks, trailer breakdowns, and analysis. If you want to go in fresh, click away now. Otherwise, let's get into it. Let's start with the leaked trailer, because this is where the alarm bells really started ringing. In December 2025, a second Avengers Doomsday teaser, intended to play exclusively in theaters before Avatar: Fire and Ash, leaked online. While the first teaser focused on Steve Rogers returning and his life with Peggy Carter, this second one put Chris Hemsworth's Thor front and center. And the tone? Nothing like we've ever seen from this character before. The teaser shows Thor walking through the woods, scenes cut together with shots of his adopted daughter Love, played by Hemsworth's real-life daughter India Rose Hemsworth. We see Love lying in bed. Thor kneels beside her and kisses her on the forehead. Then we see Thor's brand new armored costume as he kneels before Stormbreaker and prays not to the Avengers, not to his own strength, but to Odin. The prayer was translated from the French dubbed version, and here's what Thor says. Father, all my life, I have answered the call of honor, of duty, of combat. But destiny has offered me something I never dared hope for, an offering, a life preserved from the storm. Grant me the strength of the Father of all things, to be able to fight once more, to defeat a new enemy. Let me put that in perspective. This is Thor, the guy who walked into the heart of a dying star to forge Stormbreaker, the guy who laughed in the face of Thanos, and here he is, on his knees, asking his dead father for strength, not for victory, not for power, just enough strength to fight one more time and make it home to his daughter. As Screen Rant reported after the trailer leaked, I had never seen Thor sound so desperate before heading into a fight, and the Russo Brothers themselves posted on Instagram, when even a god has to pray for strength, that's not hype marketing, that's foreshadowing. The teaser ends, just like the Steve Rogers teaser did, with a title card that reads, Thor will return in Avengers Doomsday. Notice it doesn't say he'll survive Doomsday, just that he'll return in it. Now here's where things get very interesting, because Chris Hemsworth himself has been dropping hints for years. Back in May 2025, Hemsworth posted a tribute video titled, Thank You, the Legacy of Thor, that sent the internet into a complete meltdown. Fans immediately assumed it was a goodbye video, a farewell to the character. Hemsworth later clarified that the footage represented gratitude rather than a farewell, but the fact that he made that video at all tells you something about his mindset heading into Doomsday. Then, when asked about a potential Thor 5, Hemsworth said simply, We'll see what happens. Not a confident, absolutely, not a hype, I'd love to come back, just, we'll see what happens. For a guy who's played this character for over a decade, that's a remarkably non-committal answer. But the most telling quote? In a separate interview, Hemsworth said, I feel like we'd probably have to close the book if I ever did it again. Close the book. Those are his words. He's essentially saying that any future Thor appearance should serve as a finale for the character. And Avengers Doomsday is exactly that kind of appearance. When you pair that with how Hemsworth publicly acknowledged that Thor, Love and Thunder was a disappointment, he told Vanity Fair he became a parody of the character and felt like he exaggerated Thor's comedic traits too much. You get a picture of an actor who desperately wants to give his character a worthy send-off, a meaningful, serious, emotional ending, not another comedy. What's more meaningful than dying to protect your daughter and your brother in the most epic battle the MCU has ever staged? Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture, because Marvel has a very clear pattern when it comes to the original 6 Avengers. Iron Man, dead, sacrificed himself in Endgame. Black Widow, dead, sacrificed herself in Endgame. Captain America, retired and old in Endgame, now returning in Doomsday for what looks like a final mission. Hawkeye, passed his legacy to Kate Bishop. Hulk, severely injured, future unclear. And then there's Thor, the last original Avenger with a truly unresolved arc. He's the only one who hasn't had a definitive ending to his story. And Marvel has been very deliberate about giving each original Avenger a meaningful conclusion. As Screen Rant noted, Thor's chances of dying were already high due to his status as an original Avenger. Both Iron Man and Black Widow sacrificed themselves in the Russo Brothers' latest Avengers movie. The Russo brothers are back for Doomsday. They understand this pattern better than anyone. They created it. Think about what Thor's death would mean thematically. Iron Man's death was about selfless sacrifice. The man who once said, "I am Iron Man," as an act of ego, ultimately saying it as an act of love. Black Widow's death was about redemption, a former assassin dying for the people she loved. Thor's death, it would be about legacy, a king, a father, a brother, choosing to die so that the people he loves can live. His daughter Love, his brother Loki. The poetic symmetry is right there. Thor has watched Loki die multiple times. In the Dark World, in Infinity War, in Doomsday, according to the leaks, Loki will watch Thor die. The brother who was always the strong one, always the protector, finally falling, and Loki has to bear witness. That's devastating storytelling. This brings us to what might be the most important piece of the puzzle, the Loki connection and the battle at Yggdrasil. If you watched Loki Season 2, you know how it ended. Loki sacrificed himself to save the multiverse, reshaping all the fractured timelines into Yggdrasil, the World Tree, and sitting on a throne at the end of time, holding everything together. He's been alone up there ever since, and critically, Thor doesn't know Loki is alive. Since Loki Season 2 ended, as IMDb reported, Thor remains completely unaware that a variant of his brother is alive. Thor thinks Loki is dead, killed by Thanos in Infinity War. So when these two brothers reunite in Doomsday, it won't just be a regular reunion. Thor will be discovering that Loki has been alive this whole time, holding the multiverse together alone, sacrificing his freedom so others could have theirs. That reunion is going to be emotionally devastating, and according to the detailed plot leaks, it happens right before everything goes wrong. Here's what the leaks say about the climax. The final battle of Avengers Doomsday takes place at Yggdrasil, the throne of the multiverse that Loki has been protecting. The Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four all converge on this location to defend it from Doctor Doom. Thor and Loki have their reunion here in the middle of this cosmic battle with everything on the line. According to comicbook.com's breakdown of the leaks, the final sequence involves Steve Rogers fighting Doom with Thor's Stormbreaker axe. Steve loses, and Thor, watching his oldest friend fall with his own weapon, goes after Doom himself. He holds out the longest, he's the last one standing, and then Doctor Doom kills Thor in front of Loki. A stunning reversal of Infinity War, where Thor watched Thanos kill Loki. Now Loki watches Doom kill Thor. The cyclical tragedy of these two brothers is complete. Now let's talk about what the comics tell us, because Marvel has been following the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars blueprint very closely. In the comics New Avengers number 32, Thor dies in battle against the Beyonders in the lead-up to Secret Wars. He dies alongside Hyperion, Marvel's Superman-like character, fighting cosmic beings of unimaginable power. It's a warrior's death. Brutal, final, and heroic. In the MCU, the Beyonders don't exist in the same form, but the Sentry does. Lewis Pullman's Bob, who we first saw in Thunderbolts, is the MCU's answer to Hyperion, and the leaks suggest that Sentry fights Doctor Doom during the Yggdrasil battle and loses. Doom absorbs the void, Sentry's terrifying dark personality, making himself even more powerful. So the comic book parallel is clear. Thor and the Sentry-type character fight in the climactic pre-Secret Wars battle, both fall, and Doom emerges all-powerful. That's almost exactly what the MCU leaks are describing, and in the original 2015 Secret Wars comic event, after all the universes collapse and Doom creates Battleworld, he uses Thor variants, a whole army of them, as his personal police force called the Thor Corps. This is hugely important. It suggests that even if Thor dies in Doomsday, we'll see multiple Thor variants in Secret Wars. So Marvel gets to kill the original Thor for emotional impact, while still having Thor-adjacent characters for the next film. It's genius storytelling. You get the devastating death, and you get Thor variants in Secret Wars. Everybody loses, everybody wins. Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: Love. Thor's adopted daughter, introduced in Thor, Love and Thunder, is a child with the power of a god. She's played by Chris Hemsworth's real daughter, India Rose Hemsworth, in the Doomsday teaser, which is already heartbreaking metacasting. The father-daughter bond being portrayed on screen is real. The leaked plot details suggest that Doctor Doom specifically targets the children of heroes. The Fantastic Four post-credits scene and the Steve Rogers teaser both hint at Doom being interested in the children of powerful heroes, potentially to use them or eliminate them as future threats. Love would be a massive target. She's the adopted daughter of the god of thunder, carrying the power of Gor's weapon. Doom would absolutely want her. This creates the ultimate stakes for Thor. It's not just about saving the universe anymore, it's about protecting his daughter, and the leaked trailer makes this explicit. Every shot of Love lying in bed, looking vulnerable, intercut with Thor's desperate prayer. He's not asking Odin to help him win. He's asking Odin to help him get home to her. The tragic irony writes itself. Thor fights to survive so he can get back to Love, and he doesn't make it. He dies protecting the multiverse, and by extension, protecting her, without ever getting to say goodbye. That's the kind of ending that sticks with audiences for decades. That's the kind of ending that makes Thor, Love and Thunder's introduction of love feel like the most painful setup in MCU history. So if Thor dies, what happens next? Because this is actually where things get exciting despite the sadness. According to the full Secret Wars comic storyline, Doom's Battleworld features a Thor Corps, an army of Thor variants from across the multiverse who serve as Doom's police force in his new reality. We could see Thor variants we've never seen before: female Thor, Viking Thor, War Thor. The possibilities are endless, and it gives Marvel a way to keep the Thor mythology alive even after the original is gone. There's also the question of love. If Thor dies, his daughter becomes a character with unfinished story, a god-powered child who lost her father to Doctor Doom. That's one of the most compelling setups for future MCU storytelling you could imagine. Love's arc continues because of Thor's death. And for Loki, having to watch his brother die, the brother who thought he was dead all these years, only to finally reunite with him in his final moments, that trauma would define whatever Loki's role is going forward. Whether he survives Doomsday or not, that moment will haunt the MCU. Even Chris Hemsworth gets something out of this. Rather than fading out on a disappointing film like Love and Thunder, Thor gets the send-off he deserves. An epic death, a warrior's ending, a sacrifice that matters. It's the redemption of Thor's legacy that Hemsworth himself said he felt obligated to deliver after Love and Thunder fell short. So let's bring it all together. Every clue is pointing in the same direction. The leaked trailer shows a Thor who is desperate, vulnerable, and praying for just enough strength to fight one more time. Chris Hemsworth's own words suggest he wants to close the book on the character. The pattern of original Avengers dying or stepping aside is nearly complete. Thor is the last one standing. The comic book blueprint explicitly kills Thor in the lead-up to Secret Wars. The Yggdrasil battle leak directly states that Doom kills Thor in front of Loki. And the emotional arc, Thor dying to protect Love, with Loki bearing witness, is the most perfectly constructed tragic ending in the MCU's history. Thor Odinson has been answering the call since 2011. He's fought Dark Elves, Ultron, Thanos, the God Butcher, and an entire multiverse worth of threats. On December 18th, 2026, he'll answer the call one final time. And this time, he might not come back. But if Thor has to fall, and every clue suggests he does, at least he'll fall like a god, fighting for everything he loves, with Stormbreaker in hand and Loki by his side. Are you ready? Let me know in the comments whether you think Thor makes it out alive, or if you agree this is his final chapter. Like the video if you want more Doomsday breakdowns, subscribe because we're covering every leak and trailer between now and December, and I'll see you in the next one. For Asgard.